The courtroom was silent. Not because there was nothing to say, but because everything had already been decided. Guilty. The word echoed like a gunshot. Liam Bennett stood frozen as the judge's voice faded into the background. Around him, people whispered, reporters scribbled, cameras flashed. But Liam heard none of it. Because in the front row, sitting calmly, with a faint satisfied smile, was Arthur Sinclair. The man who had just stolen his life. 5 years earlier. Liam Bennett was one of the best cybersecurity experts in London. Brilliant, quiet, and respected in his field. He worked for Sinclair Technologies, a fast-growing tech company led by Arthur Sinclair, a visionary to the world. And a monster behind the scenes. Liam discovered it by accident. A hidden server. Encrypted files. Strange activity at odd hours. At first, he thought it was just high-level corporate security. But when he decrypted the data, his blood ran cold. Private user data. Millions of people. Tracked. Sold. Manipulated. Sinclair Technologies wasn't just a tech company. It was a surveillance machine. Liam knew he had to expose it. So he gathered evidence. Carefully. Quietly. But he underestimated one thing. Arthur Sinclair already knew. One night, as Liam prepared to send everything to authorities, his office door opened. Arthur walked in. Alone. Calm. Dangerous. "You're very talented, Liam," Arthur said, looking around casually. Liam stood up, heart racing. "You shouldn't be here." Arthur smiled slightly. "And you shouldn't be digging where you don't belong." Liam clenched his jaw. "People deserve to know what you're doing." Arthur stepped closer. "People deserve comfort," he said softly. "Not truth." That night, Liam's life ended. The next morning, police stormed his apartment. Charges: cybercrime, data theft, blackmail. Everything, planted perfectly. The evidence he had collected? Gone. Replaced. Twisted. Used against him. And in court, Arthur Sinclair testified. Calm. Convincing. Untouchable. 5 years in prison. For trying to do the right things. But prison didn't break Liam. It erased him. And then rebuilt him. He learned to disappear. To become invisible. To exist without being seen. By the time he got out, Liam Bennett no longer existed. Now, he had a new name. Noah Carter. And a new purpose. The city hadn't changed. But the game had. Arthur Sinclair was bigger now. Richer. More powerful. Untouchable, again. But this time, he was being watched. Noah sat in a small apartment, screens glowing in the dark. Live feeds. Data streams. Private networks. Everything Arthur owned. Noah was inside it. For months, he watched. Studied. Learned every weakness. Every secret. Every lie. Because this wasn't just revenge. It was precision. Step 1. Isolation. One by one, Arthur's key partners began to fall. Anonymous leaks. Scandals. Investigations. Trust started breaking. Step 2. Exposure. Hidden transactions surfaced. Illegal data sales revealed. Whistleblower reports sent from anonymous sources. Arthur started to feel it. The cracks. The pressure. Find out who's doing this, he ordered his team. But they couldn't. Because Noah Carter didn't exist. Step 3. The truth. The biggest leak of all. Noah prepared it carefully. Years of data. Every crime. Every victim. Every lie Arthur Sinclair had ever built his empire on. And then he scheduled it. Midnight. Arthur Sinclair sat alone in his office, staring at the city. Something felt wrong. Too quiet. Too controlled. Then his phone buzzed. One notification. Then another. Then hundreds. News alerts. Emails. Messages. Calls. Everything collapsing. Arthur grabbed his laptop. Opened the news. And froze. Headline: Sinclair Technologies exposed in global surveillance scandal. His hands shook slightly. Impossible. Then, a voice behind him. You should have stopped when you had the chance. Arthur turned slowly. And for the first time in years, he looked afraid. Noah Carter stood in the shadows. Calm. Silent. Unrecognizable. Liam, Arthur whispered. Noah shook his head. No, he said quietly. Liam Bennett is gone. Silence. Heavy. Final. You ruined my life, Noah continued. Arthur tried to regain control. You think this fixes anything? Noah stepped closer. No, he said. It just ends it. Sirens echoed in the distance. Getting closer. Arthur laughed nervously. You think they'll believe you? Noah smiled slightly. They already do. Arthur's world was over. Noah turned to leave. Why? Arthur called out. Why come back? Noah paused at the door. Because you didn't just destroy my life, he said. You erased me. He looked back one last time. Eyes cold. So I returned the favor. And then he was gone. By morning, Arthur Sinclair was in custody. His empire destroyed. His name ruined. And Liam Bennett? Still gone. Because some people don't just take revenge. They disappear. And make sure their enemies do to the end.